started life as a bench scientist, subsequently became a trial attorney in patent litigation for life sciences, pharma, medical devices, etc. And after I had done that 10 years for the oldest patent firm in the world in top of Rockefeller Center, um, I left to start two different startups in the digital transformation space. Both of them were funded by Sequoia Capital, Goldman Sachs, etc. We're talking over, almost 2 decades ago. Very closely aligned is a nonprofit arm called How Women Lead, where we have about 20,000 or so professional women, mostly who have been in corporate America like me for 20, 25 years. They have the resources, the domain expertise, and are looking to invest in venture, but unfortunately, until recently, didn't have access to a venture fund. So we've lowered the minimum to $25,000 spread over 4 years, really to encourage up and coming folks to invest. About a year ago, we actually did an internal survey research report on folks that had invested in our first fund, and that to many of the women investors, it was the first time that invested in venture. Fast forward 5 to 6 years later, over 30% of those initial investors went on to invest in our fund as well as to invest in other female-led funds, meaning they grew confidence and they learned how to really look at due diligence. And even if they're not in the investment decision making, they learn a lot by being on our pitches. I think that we're starting to see, and many of your illustrious speakers today talked about the spectrum of women's health. And one of the companies that we just recently invested in last year was called Co-Fertility. And what they do is they bring in women who want to freeze their eggs. There's a lot of egg freezing and donating, platforms. But what they do here is that if you commit as a young woman, when you're freezing your eggs, to donate half those eggs to folks that want to become parents but can't afford to, they can't be in this top 1% socioeconomic status, right? You can freeze your eggs for free with co-fertility. It was started by a woman who led Uber's strategy for health, etc. But what they're doing is removing the monetization aspect of egg freezing out of the equation.